يمشي التراب يضمني وهو غطائي، حولي الرمال تلفني بل من ورائي، واللحد يحكي ظلمة فيها ابتلائي، والنور خط كتابه أنسي لقائي، أنسي لقائي.
Choose the right time for your visit. And this is, I think, one of the problems that we have them nowadays in our society, in our community, especially if the person is at home. Then you come in the afternoon where maybe the family are resting. You go at 11 o'clock when the family is about to sleep. Maybe they're wearing even the pyjama, the father or someone. And about to sleep, you go, you knock the door. And knocking the door means preparing food, preparing tea, making that. So you need to choose the right time. Especially in our society, our living in here is not as easy as back home in Pakistan or India. It's easy in there. You can visit any time, possibly maybe there, but in here it's not an easy. The situation is difficult in this country, so choose the right time to visit. Number 8 here, can I repeat the visit? I made it like a question, not as a point, because I want you to think about it. Can I repeat the visit? You're not very close to the person. You visit the first time, can I visit again? Or you are very close to this person. Shall I visit him or her again? That's 2 scenarios. 3, the person is very senior in the community. I need to go and pay my dua and visit and support the person, support the family. That's 3rd scenario. A person is just a normal person in the community, not a senior. I have people in there visiting him. I visit the first time and no need for me to visit again. So these are scenarios. The situations is different from A to B to C to D. So there is no one rule for this. Whenever you visit, you know that's going to make impact on the person, then repeat the visit again and again. You know that you did the first visit, you did the obligation, you visit the person, you made your dua, alhamdulillah, you don't need to do it again. But the person, you are very close to him or you're very close to her, you need to show your face all the time. The person, if I'm sick, I'm expecting my friends to be with me. I'm not going to say 24 hours, 7, but at least most of the time to be there. I will not, inside my heart, I will not accept your excuse. Oh, I have work, I didn't get, off days, I didn't get this. This is a silly excuse for me. I'm not going to accept them. I'm telling you from now. If I get sick, I'm not accepting your excuses that I couldn't make it, I'm working, sending a text message or calling me by the phone. If you are my close friend, if someone that I consider this as a brother, then it's a brother. Call me, visit me once, 5 minutes and go, that's fine with that. So the situation of the friendship is different. And based on that, you can make your decision with this. This is the understanding that I explained to you earlier was taken from this hadith. The story of Sa'd ibn Ubadah when he got injured in Ghazwat al-Khandaq in year 5, he was injured. Rasulullah SAW, what he did, because he's a senior of the Ansar. And he's one of the senior people in there. And Rasulullah, what he did, instead of making the house and people going and disturbing the house, he established a tent in the Masjid al-Nabawi, in his masjid. He made for him a room, an area, so people, they can visit him regularly and be close to him. Rasulullah wanted to be close to him and visit him regularly. The ulama said it depends on the situation. You are close to the person, you're not close to the person. The person is senior or not senior, and goes with that. Okay? So don't disturb the person. You be there 24 hours every day you're visiting and you are not very close to the person. You visit the first time, khalas, give the time to the others. You should not stay there for a long time because you need to give a chance for the other people to visit. You need to give a rest to the person. You need to limit it. And also with that, if you are a normal person. You're not very close to the person, but you are a very close friend. And you know your friend, if you are there, he will be so happy. He will be very, he will feel better. Imagine even feeling better. Psychologically, the person, he or she will feel better because my friend next to me, talking to me, changing my mood, and I feel better. So this is, but in general, it's not recommended for you to stay there for long, but consider the family, if it was at home, consider his situation. One of the things that it was said to me before by someone, he said, I wanted to pass wind. I wanted to pass wind. He said, I'm sick. I want to pass wind and I could not do it because the people around me, they are there and I couldn't do it. I waited until they go, and because at the time when they went, already my stomach started, I got the pain in my stomach and I found it difficult. Where's the line? So I found it difficult. Oh, I felt just cold. I want to put this on, but is a bit complicated. Okay. Because I don't want to get sick. Okay. So sometimes you don't think about small things. The person wants to, he's okay in there, but he wants just to pass wind, and he doesn't want to do it in front of the others. He stays an hour, and especially with older people, the pass wind, there are older people in here, sorry to say that, but they pass wind regularly, and some people they have it that as an issue, a health issue. Even if they are fit, amongst us, they go and they come and they're mobile, but consider the small thing and the big thing. Don't stay there for a long time. And even if you're staying there, time to time, go out and come back. If you're on the hospital, go out, come back. Because going out, as those people when they go out for a cigarette, go out, come back, is a time for them to pass wind and to do something and maybe scratch or do something, and then you come back again. So think wise. Think all the time with not in a very tight way. A wise way will be good, inshallah. The story here, you will like this story. The story here, Abu al-Aliya al-Riyahi, one of the great scholars of al-Tabi'een, and he's a mufassir. In the tafsir, you'll find a lot of Abu al-Aliya in there. Al-Riyahi, he said that Ghalib al-Qattan, another person from al-Tabi'een, came to visit him. He said, لَمْ يَلْبَثْ إِلَّا يَسِيرًا. He did not stay for long. He stayed for a short time and he went. So Abu al-Aliya is talking about the visit of his colleague, his friend. He said he stayed for a short time and he went. And then Abu al-Aliya said this, مَا أَرْفَقَ الْعَرَبِ. He said, the Arab are very gentle and very kind. He didn't say Pakistanis. The Pakistanis, they go there with their cars and they stay there for hours. They stay, they chat everything, hours. The person is struggling in there. He wants to pass wind, he wants to go to the toilet, he wants to do a lot of things. But the wife may be sitting in there, standing, and she gives the seat to the brother to visit. And she's struggling standing. She goes out, in, showing with actions that, come on, go. But it's still the person there. Children are screaming and outside. If it was at home, there's so many signs. Just think about one of the visits that you made it. People going in and out. Oh, do you like tea? You finish your tea now, yeah? Or would you like another cup of tea? Means that get out, go. And they're offering coffee, they're offering something, but you don't understand. And he said, Ma arfaq al-Arab. And this is the Pakistanis, isn't it? The Asians, they go there, they stay for a long time. But he praised the Arab. لا تطيل الجلوس عند المريض. They don't stay long at the sick person's place. فإن المريض, he said, Abu al-Aliya, he's talking about himself, his experience. He said, the sick person, تبدو له الحاجة فيستحي من جلسائه. He will get a need, he will have a need for doing something, but he will be shy because of the people who are visiting him. He can't do much. He might want to move. He might want to go into this side or that side. He might be having a pain in stomach pain on his stomach. He wants to lie down on his stomach. As we said, one of the very, really common ones, he wants to pass wind. But you are there, staying for a long time, you're not helping the person. What time should I visit? We did talk about it earlier, but because I want to share with you a hadith of Rasulullah ﷺ, so we'll talk about, we did talk about this earlier. Choose, the conclusion of that, choose the time suits the person, not suits you. So choose the time that suits the sick person, not the time that suits you. Or I can't do it when I get break lunchtime from my work. That's the time you can do it, but it doesn't suit him because at the time he will be having lunch. At the time he might be when having his nap or her nap. You're going and visiting that person during the time that's not suitable for him or her. Don't do that. Visit the person when it's suitable for him or her, not taken to your ease for yourself. Okay, I think the story will come later. Do I need to inform them of my visit? Do I need to tell them that I'm visiting you? Really, if we look into the Sharia, no need until you come into the door. When you come to the door, you get the permission. If they allowed you, then you can visit, you can go in. If they did not allow you, then you go back. However, our Muslims in this century, in this time, they don't follow this. We can't practice this. It's difficult. Someone coming from Birmingham to visit me in London and came without calling, without asking whether I'm available or not to visit. At the door, you want my wife to say to them, sorry, we're not ready for that, or we can't welcome guests. It will be difficult. So I think you need to make the balance on this one from both sides. I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed us nowadays with technology. You have phones, you have messages, you have emails. Do that. If you are local, it will be fine to go to make surprise, make something nice. It depends on how the situation you and your other person. Go knock the door. If they allowed you, fine. Didn't allow you, don't go back. Practice the sunnah. If it was a hospital, then you go to the hospital because the visiting time, usually the people are expecting the visitors. And maybe talk to them family members to speak to the person who's sick to know that I'm coming at that time. However, this story of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they visited Jabir ibn Abdullah radiallahu anhu, and at that time he was unconscious. They visited him. He got up after Rasulullah had wudu, and in his wudu that he used, the used water, he poured it on top of Jabir, although Jabir was sick and unconscious at that time. Jabir radiallahu anhu, he got up at that time and he saw Rasulullah there. Rasulullah did not get the permission. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq did not get permission, so they came in without, the person is unconscious, so he doesn't know who is around him. And this evidence shows that you can visit without permission. In general, you can do that, but as we said, you need to look into the etiquettes that is built up and made in you in our society nowadays. It makes it easy for the family, makes it easy for the patient, and makes it easy for everyone. Jabir radiallahu anhu, as soon as he got up, he asked Rasulullah, he knew that he's going to die. What shall I do with my wealth, with my money? And then the ayat, the verses of the inheritance were revealed from Surah An-Nisa. Okay, we'll talk about that later inshallah. When you see the sick person, when you are, now you visit, we learn the etiquette. Now you are in the room, you are in the hospital, now with the sick person. Now what should I or you or everyone do and say when we are there? Now you should say first, when you see the person who is in the sickness, you say this dua. Yeah, you can. Okay, you say it quietly. Remember to say this. You say it quietly. Do not say it loudly to make the person who's sick to hear that, because it's going to, psychologically, it's going to affect him. It's going to upset the person. So let's say you're visiting a person with one particular disease in the hospital, and you're saying, Alhamdulillah alladhi afani mimma ibtalaka bihi. Praise to be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're saying, Alhamdulillah, shukr to Allah, that He protected me from the sickness that you're having. وَفَضَّلَنِي عَلَيْكَ, and He made me better than you, because I'm fit, I'm healthy, and you're not healthy. وَعَلَى كَثِيرٍ مِّمَّنْ خَلَقَ تَفْضِيلًا, and upon the other people as well, a lot in this community. If you say that, it might affect the person, because you're making me feel that I have this problem, I'm less than you and you're better than me. So say it quietly in yourself, don't make it loud for the person to hear it. That's the first thing that you should do. Whenever you see someone in a calamity, in a difficulty, in a sickness, say this. Questions later on, please. Come close to the, it might be a person with a wheelchair going in front of you. I'll say, Alhamdulillah, say the word inside yourself. Okay, come close. Now you are in the, as we said, you are in the hospital or you're in the room with this person. Come close to the sick person and do the following. Come close. Here, I did not say how close. Rasulullah came next to the head of the person. You know the bed, if there is a chair, you come close to the bed, close to his head. That's what Rasulullah did in many occasions when he visited, including the Yahudi, including the Jew person that we talked about him. Rasulullah came close to his head and he said what he's going to say, or the message that he's going to say to him, he will say it at that place. So come close to the person. Sometimes, you know, the family are around them there, so they might say to you, sit there. Fine. If they were told you to sit there, then you sit there. But the sunnah, the way how Rasulullah did it, it is in this particular style. You come close and you say, or you put your hand on top, on the head of this person. This is how Rasulullah did it. Of course, if you're visiting an-mahram, as we said earlier, the female who's not mahram to you, you can't do that. Brothers, don't visit an auntie and you put your hands on the auntie's head. Don't do that. Okay? Or sisters, you're visiting a brother and you do that on them. Sisters with sisters, brothers with brothers, or you do that maybe with the younger children who are young, you can do that, the young age. You can't do the head. Also, you can touch the hand. So and on some occasions, Rasulullah, he touched the hand like this, showing support basically for that, the wisdom behind this, showing support, that's one thing. Making the dua, because if there's the pain in here, you might put the dua and do the ruqya on that as well. But in general, Rasulullah makes the ruqya on the head and making the dua while the hands on the head. Or you can't do that, as we said, you touch your friend and press a little bit, just showing that I'm with you, and make a dua, showing the emotion that you are with your friend. Okay, read one of the recommended ruqya upon him or her. We learned some of the ruqyas before, and there are so many ruqyat, you can learn them, and you use one of the ruqyat while your hand on top of the head or of this sick person, or in top of the pain, where the pain is. If there's something that you can put your hand on, of course. Make dua, ruqya. After the ruqya, as we learned before, different from dua. Ruqya, specific phrases, specific hadith or dua said and made by Rasulullah. General dua, you make general dua. Allahumma shfi, Allahumma afi. Make any general dua. Show the support to your friend and the family members who are you visiting them. Remind the sick person, male or female, of having sabr and the reward of having the sabr. Because people sometimes when they are sick, they are really tired. 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, I'm in the bed, I'm feeling tired. Remind them of the sabr. Remind them of the story of Ayyub alayhi salam. Remember before you go, do a little bit of homework. Read something, have stories, have some ideas, what you're going to say. Go there, and it's not going in there without, especially if you are, you know, there's some, you know yourself, yeah? There are different people, you know your level of talking. If you are a type of person that in 5 minutes you say 1 word, then you need to make a little bit of homework. So prepare yourself before you go there. I don't want someone to visit me while I'm in bed and you sit there like this, watching. I want someone to talk. Say something nice. I mean something like Firaz, mashallah, tabarakallah. Nice talker, isn't it? So you need, mashallah, tabarakallah. Say mashallah, tabarakallah, everyone. So if you know yourself that you don't know how to talk, do a little bit of homework. Learn some stories, learn something when you go there. You know what? this is so great reward. It is this, it is that. So you mentioned something nice to the person. Give the support. Ask him or her about the situation. Say, كيف حالك? How are you? What is it? How do you feel? Just ask a little bit more. So a little bit. No, don't go in details. We're going to come into some points that don't go into something really, really sensitive. But say in general, how do you feel now? How is it now? After this, how is it now? So say this question. This has to be there. This question has to be there. Okay, then be careful of what you ask and what you say. Don't go into so many details, and it depends on your level as well. All of that, these are points are difficult to explain it in a short time. If you are close to the person, you're not close to the person. You just a random person came to visit someone. Oh, how do you feel this? Oh, what's about that? What's about that? Going to so much details. Akhi, I'm not interested to tell you about my situation, all of it. I'm not interested. Jazakallah khair for your visit. May Allah reward you. Say your dua, your full support. Ma'a salama. Take care. You are very close to the friend, to the person. Then the person, I'm sure that interested to share their problem with you if they want to do that. Okay. In this story, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, the Khalifa of the Muslims during the Umayyad period, and he was counted as the Khalifa, the 5th Khalifa, because he was a very just Khalifa and helped the Muslim Ummah at that time. A person came to visit him. So he asked Umar ibn Abdul Aziz about his sickness. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, he gave him the answer. So what do you feel? Oh, I feel there's this and that and this and that. Okay? He didn't say what is it. And the visitor, he said to him, oh my God, this sickness is very difficult. So and so had it and died. So and so had it and didn't get any treatment. So and so had it, he stayed so long in bed. He's saying that to Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. Is that the way how you visit the person? Someone with one of the disease, what is it? Or let's say HIV, let's say something like that. Oh my God, you have this. You know that there's no treatment for it, isn't it? You're going to die. I feel sorry for you. There's no one, until now, there's no one really had this, stayed for more than this time. Don't say this. Don't say this. So he said that to Umar ibn Aziz. Then when he finished, Umar ibn Aziz said to him, he gave him the advice. Umar ibn Aziz is a scholar. At the same time, he is a leader. He said to him, when you visit a sick person, فَلَا تَنْعَ إِلَيْهِ الْمَوْتِ. Even that sickness is sickness, it leads him or her to death, do not announce the death for him or for her. Avoid it. Do not tell this. Do not say it. We know that person is going to die, but don't say it. لَا تَنْعَ الْمَوْتِ to the person who's sick. Don't say that. وَإِذَا خَرَجْتَ, listen to this, and this is not someone who's going to have two faces, one face, and that's all the time. Have one face, don't have two faces. He said to him, and when you leave, don't come back to me anymore. Understand what he says? So I'm not interested about your visit. You're not a person that I would like you to visit me, because of the way, the style, how you treated the sick person. So when you leave, do not come back to visit me again. I'm not interested. So don't be in that position. Praise him and her. While you are there, praise the person. And that is part of the support. How are you going to praise the person? By saying, MashaAllah, your work, your this, people are waiting for you, inshallah, come. We're going to have, if you may be having some fun with him, and sometimes we'll come back, inshallah. We're going to play football again, inshallah. And you're going to damage me again, okay? Who's damaged me? What is the brother? Okay, you're going to play football again, and you're going to tackle me again. We're going to have this, we're going to have that. So give us support. Give something, nice words to the person, and inshallah, you're going to come back to work. We're going to come back into my office. Your chair is waiting for you all the time. Inshallah, next week you'll be there. Tomorrow, inshallah, you'll be there. Give kind of support like that. And praise the person. Give nice praise to the person. Try to bring hope and joy to him or her. And you might say something like a joke. You might say something, make him just smile. Not too much, but to smile and remind the person of his good deed. And that brings the joy. And this is what Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As did with his father. Amr ibn al-As, when he got sick, the time when he died, his son came in and he found the father the father was crying. And father, he said to him, remember when you did this, when you did that, when you did this, you did that. So he started reminding his father of all the actions to make the father having the joy and the happiness, reminding of my actions, what I did. And that is what you need for a visiting person, the visitor. Otherwise, you'll have someone like the one who visits Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, says, I feel sorry for you, you're going to go. Do not be unpleasant to him or her. Unpleasant here by being someone is saying something, it doesn't suit the person. The person is in pain, the person is not interested in what you're saying, and you're going into, or using a language, the story that I'm going to share it with you, using a language that it doesn't suit the time in there. Now you speak English or you speak Arabic, you're going into very, very advanced level. You're making it, we call in Arabic taqa'ur. At-taqa'ur, when you're speaking like someone's giving a lecture in a university or in Oxford or Cambridge, using words that very, very high, using words that as if you are lecturing and giving to someone who's paying attention 100%. Don't use that. Be soft, be normal, use a simple language. And that is the story here. Quite long story, but a person got sick and he ordered the family to call all his children, and he left one of his sons out. So call me son and son, son and son, son and son, but he did not call one person. Now he's in his death, his sickness, he called them, he wants to give them advice, he wants to hear from them, he wants to see them before he died. But he didn't want to see one of them. He said, I don't want that person. And they requested the family, why, please, accept him. Why are you leaving just that person? He said, because he's yataqa'aru fil kalam. He speaks in a way that I can't stand it. He speaks in a way that it doesn't make me pleasant. I'm sick, I don't want to hear that language. When you're sick and there are some styles, some actions, some words, some ways of dealing with a person, you don't want to see it. That person, that's how he talks. I don't want to hear his way of talking at this stage. I'm sick. And he said, allow him with the condition that he will not speak in the way how he speaks. Make himself simple and normal. He came, they allowed him. He came in, he said, oh dad, I'm really sorry that to come now. Oh dad, he start now implementing and using the sunnah, which is fine. What is it? One of the things that we're going to learn later inshallah, they're giving talqeen, say ashhadu la ilaha illallah. So I said to him, ya abati, oh my father, say, I would like you now to read this. Look ashhadu la ilaha illallah in here, and look ashhadu la ilaha illallah in here. He said to him, dad, say ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. But dad, if you want, also you can say ashhadu anna la ilaha illallah. Can you hear the two difference between, listen to me now, between two statements. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah and this. Ashhadu anna la ilaha illallah. Here we have Allah and here we have an la. We made something called idgham in Arabic language. We merged between the noon and the lam. We made it idgham, and he without idgham. So he said to him, you say this, and you can say this as well. And then he said to him, both of them that are allowed. Although Sibawayh, the scholar of the Arabic grammar, he likes. Do you think that at that time he considered, or he's really bothering about Sibawayh or Arabic grammar? Speak slang, speak any language. I just want to understand you. Don't make it difficult for me. I'm not really happy to hear this at that time. And then he said, oh my father, I really was with Abu Ali al-Qali. We was listening to stories from him and really went into so many things. And then he said, we went to visit that so-and-so person, and so-and-so person, you know what he did for us? He said, listen to this. All of these are dishes, types of food in Arabic language. He said, ahrasa, absala, a'dasa, istabdaja, wa sakbaja, wa tahbaja, wa afraja, wa dajdaja. Dajdaja from dajaja, the chicken. Dajdaja, wa andara, wa lawdaja, wa flawdaja. So he ended with the dessert. Flawdaja, the faludish, that's the ice cream. So he did all of that. The father said, take him out, take him out. I have, he said, he came before even Malak al-Maut, before even the angel of death, he came to me. He wants to take my soul, take him out. I don't want to see him. That's his own son. So you don't want to be someone who is unpleasant, saying things that it doesn't really suit the person. Say something and you have to be very balanced the words. And that is the story was narrated by Ibn Abd Rabbuh in the Al-Aqd al-Farid, which is a book of Arabic language. We stop the rest, Lajda? Okay. We'll complete the rest, inshallah.
بل من ورائي واللحد يحكي ظلمة فيها ابتلائي والنور خط كتابه أنسي لقائي